What is up, guys? Alden Palantir here to bring you guys the review of episode 9 of season 3 of Game of Thrones, Reigns of Castamere, and what the living fuck. There are no words to describe that fucking episode other than what the fuck. What the fuck? Okay, I read the books, so I knew what the fuck happened, but oh my god, they hit the nail on the fucking head. Like the credits with no music, the last scene, the screams, the emotions. They messed they messed a few minor details up. And I'll tell you what they are when I get to it. But oh my god, that was an amazing scene. Oh my goodness. Alright, so let's start from the beginning of the episode, as hard as that is, because the end was just mind fucking blowing. But let's start at the beginning for the sake of this review. We start with Robb asking Catelyn, his mother, for help on their battle plan. They want to attack Casterly Rock, which is the Lannisters' homeland. They want to invade that, take what the Lannisters know and love. Robb asks Catelyn because he found out that if he listened to her before when she was saying not to send Theon off, then their war effort would be a lot better off. And you know, it really hurt that he didn't listen to her. So he decides, hey, why not? Let me listen to her for this once and see what's gonna happen. And he does, and they are going to. Their plan is to attack Castle Rock when they are finished with the wedding. The wedding of Edmure to one of Walder Frey's daughters, right? Oh my goodness. So that is what they're trying to do. I find it kind of weird, though, that Robb wanted to ask Catelyn for help. After all this happened with her making bad decisions, I really find that strange. And the Theon thing, I guess you could have helped with that, but it was a rational thing to do to send Theon off. But hey, why not? But then Robb Stark goes to Walder Frey, goes in his house, eats his bread, eats his salt, and something you should know from the books, bread and salt is a really important thing in the books. If you go into someone's house and you eat their bread and you eat their salt, what that signifies is protection. They must protect you as a host. Basically, what do I mean by this? If you were to come to my house, and we were in the Game of Thrones world, and you were to eat bread and salt from my house, I'm not allowed to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. Not allowed to physically harm you in any way, shape, or form, take you prisoner, or anything like that. That's what you should know. And Robb and Edmure, all of them ate bread and salt. That's why they were passing around the tray with bread and salt, but they really didn't do a good job explaining that in the adaptation. So that's pretty just a neat thing to hold on to. So what Walder Frey eventually ends up doing is against the Westerosi law. It's wrong. It's just wrong for him to do. Anyways, Edmure is asked to pick a girl. He's asked to pick a girl that he'll marry. The Walder Frey gives him a selection. Okay, that's what they did in the book. In the movie, he showed them to him, but I don't think Edmure actually picked one of the girls because he ends up getting another girl in the end. Daenerys, the scene with Daenerys and Daario. Daario says, all right, give me 2 of your best men. We go in the back gates that I go in every once in a while to get my freak on with the slave girls. My men go through. I just watch. I don't know. Apparently he doesn't like having sex with slaves because they're property. Okay, so he, Barristan, and Greyworm go in there, and they're planning to unlock the front gates, and then they sack the city. That's the plan. Sir Jorah, my bad, Jorah, not Barristan, Jorah, Greyworm, and Daario. Jorah initially doesn't trust him, but Greyworm does, so they do end up going along with the plan, because Daenerys does trust Daario. She trusts him. Then we have a little clip with Sam. It's the only clip with Sam we have. They arrived at the wall. That's pretty much it. And we do have some some little bits of dialogue about Sam being book smart. Gilly really admires him for that. That's a really cool scene. I like the dialogue there. The scene with the Hound and Arya was the next scene. In that scene, the Hound was trying to kill the guy, just, you know, to tie up the loose ends, make sure nothing happened. He doesn't tell anybody that the Hound will lose. He doesn't go crying about his cart that was stolen. Basically, killing the guy was a safe thing to do, but Arya said no, so the Hound does listen. But then they have some heated dialogue. Arya tells him that she knows about how his face is all fucked up from his brother, and he's scared of fire. And then the Hound retorts by saying her dad got his head cut off. Wow, that was a really heated dialogue. I really, really enjoyed it. And at the end, it ends with Arya saying that she wants to kill the Hound. So that's how that finished. After that, My bad. Okay, Bran, Hodor, and all their group hides in the little shelter thing. And that just happens to be the same thing that Jon happens to go by, but Jon's going by when he's running away when they ask him to kill the old man. They asked him to kill the old man with the horses because they finally caught up to the dude. And Jon ends up saying he's going to do it. He's going to do it. And then Ygritte's like, okay, if he hesitates any longer, we're both gonna be fucked because they're not gonna believe that, you know. If he refuses to do it and he tries to fight back, it's gonna be even worse. So she ends up killing the dude, and then Orell and the other dude are just like, really at this point they're flustered. They're just like, you know what, Jon's not a real wildling. He's still with the crows. We're gonna fuck him up. We're gonna kill him. So they want to kill Jon now. That's what they want to do. So there's a huge fight in which Bran ends up taking control of the. Earlier on, he took control of Hodor when he was freaking out because of the storm. But now Bran takes control of a wolf. Which wolf was it? I think it was his own wolf. Yeah, it was either his wolf or Rickon's wolf. I really couldn't tell the difference between the wolves. I think it was Rickon's wolf. It was Rickon's wolf. Yeah, so he ends up taking control of that wolf. The wolf helps Jon fight. Jon ends up getting away. Ygritte's held down. They're like, Ygritte, you don't need to sacrifice your life for this dude. He's obviously not with us. He's obviously still with the crows. Because Ygritte is still a wildling at heart. She does still want to kill Jon now that Jon left her. Because, you know, it's fucked up. Ygritte is a wildling, a true wildling. She will never be a crow. They look down on crows. They despise crows. But she still has a little bit of feelings for Jon. But they're obviously not as strong because of this whole ordeal. That's it for that. Jon ends up getting away. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jon does end up escaping. Big surprise. I already said that. But yeah, Jon does end up escaping. And now we go to the scene with Jorah, Greyworm, and Daario Naharis. This really cool scene in which they storm the city. They go in the back gates, and Daario kills the 2 guards, and Jorah asks Daario, like, are you sure not gonna send more reinforcements? Daario's like, nah, they make their slaves fight for them. Then a whole ton of slave warriors come rushing in, and they have this epic fight. All 3 of them covering each other. They fought back to back for a portion of the time. Really cool fight. Daario, Jorah, Greyworm, all very skilled fighters. 3 on like, it must have been like 50 plus, and they just won. They just raped them, and it was a really cool scene. I really enjoyed it. It was just an oh my god scene. This, in my opinion, the best episode of the season by far, especially because of what's going to come later. But this part was amazing too. The fact that Jon was also amazing. Rickon leaves. Bran decides to leave Rickon and the wildling girl and go off with Mira and Jojen and Hodor in search of they're going beyond the wall in search of someone to mentor Bran, or in search of the one-eyed raven, one-eyed crow, whatever the hell it is. I really am not that interested in Bran's storyline, as you guys know, but you know, I still got my knowledge on it. I still know what's gonna happen in the future, but you know, not gonna say, of course. No spoilers. I don't give spoilers. That's wrong. It's fucked up. But anyways, what ends up happening is yeah, they leave. They split off into 2 groups. Mira and Rickon, I believe, are going to Castle Black, while Bran, Jojen, Mira, Hodor are going beyond the wall. That's what's going to happen there. Daenerys then finds out that Jorah, Greyworm, and Daario did successfully sack the city. They all come back, but Daario's not there. It was like, oh, Daenerys like start to have a little oh my god moment when Daario didn't come back, but then Daario comes back like, yeah, I'm a badass. I'm here. What the fuck's up? And that was a really good scene too. Let's see, what happened after this? Oh yeah, now we come to the red motherfucking wedding. The red motherfucking wedding. This was the best scene in the whole damn season. Alright, let me tell you guys what was supposed to happen and what did happen. They were close, but they weren't quite the same. They did change a couple things up, but I guess these things were either minor or, you know, whatever. Okay, so basically, fuck, oh my goodness, where do I start? Okay, so they have the wedding. Now it's time for the bedding ceremony. This is a part of the plan. This is a part of the Red Wedding plan. The bedding ceremony gets all the innocent people out of the wedding hall so they can fuck shit up. Gets all the innocent people to leave the wedding hall. That was crucial for the plan. We're gonna call this Operation Red Wedding, Operation RW, bitch. Okay, so basically they get all the people out of the hall for the bedding ceremony. Basically, the bedding ceremony, if you don't know, all the men in the hall take the wife, all the females in the hall take the husband, and what they do is they undress them, and then they escort them both to their room where they're supposed to have sex in that room. Okay, we already saw one example of this with Tyrion and Sansa, except they didn't do it right. For some reason, it wasn't like a true bedding ceremony. It wasn't really a bedding ceremony that happened there, but that's how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. It's how that's the tradition, right? So that's how they got all the innocent people out of the hall. Now, when it was done, they closed the doors. That was a little fishy, the fact that they closed the doors after the people were done bedding. Now, what happens next? You gotta, okay, first of all, during the actual wedding ceremony, when Edmure was given, by the way, it turned out to be a beautiful woman relative of Walder Frey. And adding in this little tidbit, Roose Bolton also is married to one of Walder Frey's daughters. That was a hilarious scene where he said he was promised the weight of the wife in gold. So instead of picking a beautiful wife, he picked the fattest one so he could get the same weight in gold. That was hilarious, but that was a side note. By the way, her name, I believe, is supposed to be Rosalyn, the Edmure's wife. And basically, from the moment she was unveiled, she was supposed to be crying. She was supposed to be crying the whole time and just tearing up, crying and sad in tears, distraught. She was supposed to be mentally wrecked. Okay, that's what happened in the book, but no one knew why. Why was she mentally wrecked? Why was she so sad? Because she knew, she was told that she was not really getting married. This was all part of the plan to kill Robb Stark and kill all their men and everyone that was associated with them. That was what it was supposed to do. That was why she was supposed to be crying. That was a huge part of it. That was the one hint they had to go off of, the fact that this girl was crying instead of happy on her own wedding day to a really prestigious man. Okay, that was one thing. Anyways, everyone clear out of the hall, and then Catelyn sits down next to Roose Bolton, and she's curious. She's really just not feeling it. Robb stands up. Of course, he's having some dialogue with Walder Frey, and all of a sudden, Catelyn she feels a disturbance, and when Roose Bolton moves, she hears a little clinking, right? And this is really strange to hear. I'm kind of mixing it in with the kind of book narrative with the actual what happened in the movie, I know, in the adaptation, right? So she hears clinking. When he sits down, she hears a little rattling. She's like, "What is that?" And she sees that he's kind of bulky. So she slowly pulls back his sleeve, and guess what she finds? Fucking chainmail. Why would you wear chainmail to a fucking wedding? Because you're planning to fuck some people up. So that's when Catelyn realizes, and she says, "Robb, run." Now, this in the book went so much differently. There were supposed to be a few guys that were with Robb. They weren't really introduced at all in the adaptation. I didn't really say that they were there either because I didn't want to give it away. They might have been planning something, but they really just took these characters out completely. Great John. There's supposed to be other close companions of Robb there. You know, Robb has his king's entourage of these famous people that are really good at fighting that were with him. You know, and what they did, they were fighting. They were having it was supposed to be a battle. It was supposed to be a battle. Really epic kind of battle, but still one-sided since it was a surprise attack. Robb kind of got killed not killed, but he really got taken out, so to speak, shot with some arrows pretty early on. There's supposed to be a lot of guys, including the Great John, which is one of the really good characters in the book that I really liked, that picked up a table, held it in front of him, the arrows hit against the table, and he was actually holding his own for a while. There were a lot of guys holding their own, and, you know, just fucking shit up. And also, that's why Roose Bolton was not drinking, so because he knew he would have to fight, so he didn't drink at all. And of course, he does drink. I think he does drink every once in a while, but yeah, he drank because he knew he was gonna have to fight. Anyways, the battle aspect was taken out of it completely. It was really one-sided. Everyone got slaughtered. Robb's wife, of course, they stabbed her stomach. They stabbed where the child was. She was pregnant. Terrible. Oh my goodness. They did it so well. It was such an emotional scene. And Robb at the end is crawling towards his wife, and then he stands up, and Walder Frey, like, the King of the North rises, right? And then Catelyn stands up, and she's like, she takes a knife. She takes Walder's wife in one hand. And she has a knife in her hand, and she takes her. She's like, "I'm gonna kill her." She's like, "Please spare my son." She begs. She's screaming. She's like, "Please spare my son. Whatever you do, leave my son alive." Walder Frey, of course, does he give a fuck? No, he doesn't give a flying fuck. So what does he do? He freaking, oh my goodness, man. Oh, he just does not care. He's like, if you kill my wife, I'll get a new one. I'll get a fucking new one. And then what happens? Roose Bolton comes up. He says this famous line. This is the one line you need to fucking know, okay? He says the Lannisters send their regards. He says the Lannisters send their regards. Swift stab to Robb Stark, and it's done. And what's more, the credits, no music. It was brilliantly done. Very, very well done. Need I say, I forgot to add the Hound took Arya and took her away because she was, really sad. They killed everyone out there. They killed all Robb's army. They killed Robb's direwolf. It was just, wow. That scene was well done. Of course, they took a couple parts out. But it doesn't matter. But what you need to know also, Edmure is still alive, and Blackfish Tully, Brennan Blackfish Tully is supposed to be still alive, even though he was at the wedding. I don't know how they're going to bring him back or explain what happened to him, how he got away, but Blackfish is supposed to be still alive, and Edmure is definitely 100% still alive. Okay? Alvin Palantir, you've just watched the review for the best episode yet, in my opinion, of Game of Thrones. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The Starks are fucked. Peace.